seconds while in prison. Sitting up in the cell thinking
Yo,
like a
peace.
mission. Profit with a purpose. Gotta say to children, make an impact in the world while getting riches. Yeah, we was labeled as the villains in the trenches. Selling drugs, robbing and kidnapping for business. Town to town, state to state, getting money. Putting in work, doing dirt, hands muddy. Watching mob movies, getting inspired. Until we all billionaires, we can't retire. That James Bond, Aston Martin, yeah, it's fire. Riding down Sheikh Zayed Road in Dubai. Billionaire visions, generational wealth. Gotta break the curses that we've been handed down. Until we reach the top, ain't no time for sport and play. And we ain't gon' never stop till the money got our face. Billionaire visions, generational wealth. Gotta break the curses that we've been handed down. Until we reach the top, ain't no time for sport and play. And we ain't gon' never stop till the money got our face. That's the dream. I paint the picture, the first self-made billionaire who came from prison. Marriage is arranged, interlocking bonds. Link up the genes, keep the blood flowing strong. Handing down the knowledge, safeguard the traditions. Military style weapons for protection. State of the art, high-tech connections. Tailor-made jewelry, diamond mine investments. Real estate in multiple states across continents. Multinational corps and conglomerates.
Peace. Shallah King Wise right here, also known as Wise Shahid. And you know what we got going on right here is mental wealth. And you know what we got going on right here is mental wealth. So basically, it's another edition of Mental Wealth. This is actually the second time with me streaming right here, live streaming right now. And again, this is, like I said, we just rolling out different tests to see how this goes. Because you know we representing the brand Life Biz Infrastructure, or Wizetics OS Life Biz Infrastructure. And so this is brought to you by Wizetics OS Life Biz Infrastructure. It's powered by Wizetics OS Life Biz Infrastructure. And yeah, so we just here expressing points of view, point of views or points of view, whichever way you want to look at it. We here expressing these things to share with the public, share with different listeners in regards to life and business. And you know what I say is life is business and business is warfare. Life is business and business is war. And sometimes that can get taken the wrong way when I say life is business. Okay, that's kind of like can be digested, but then when I say business is war, it's like, wait a minute. So sometimes when we think about war, all we think about is what's considered to be a hot war, like the actual violence of people killing people and people dying. But that's not in the context I'm speaking about it. I'm speaking about war as in the context of strategies, tactics, maneuvers. That's what takes place in business. That's what you gotta have. You gotta have tactics, maneuvers. You gotta have strategies, tactics, maneuvers. All that right there is what takes place in business. And one thing about me is I'm very unconventional. Some things is conventional, but then some other things are unconventional. So I'm not gonna be long today. I know people are still, the government still shut down. So that's one thing that is impacting people life and business. um so some people might not be feeling it yet, but what I do is I study my surroundings. I study the environment. So you can go and just you might just take a walk through the mall and see what people are doing. Like you see the people shopping, you see people walking through the mall. um you can go to a store, go to a corner store, go to the gas station, and you can just pay attention to the behavior of the people, the consumer behavior. I was having a conversation the other day. I was building with one of my brothers, and I was talking about, you got the different aspects of, from an economic level, the different aspects of what you call consumer behavior. But then I said, okay, you got producer behavior. So I went to college and I got a degree in psychology with a concentration in consumer behavior. So it's basically a study of how do people behave in the context of them buying stuff when they go purchase. What motivates someone to buy? What motivates someone to go and spend their money? And understanding the different psychological basis for when someone make a decision to buy something. And then I took that to the next level and went into my MBA, was master, again, a master's in business administration. And all of that is combined together in real world applications of just my own experience in life and business. And so what makes me, my approach is different than a lot of other people. You can see Earn Your Leisure, EYL. You can see 19 Keys coming with his point of view. You got a few other people, that you might see, um, basically coming with their points of view on economics, on life and business. So what makes life biz infrastructure different? What makes mental wealth different than a host of other people who express what they express from their point of view on life and business? What makes me, Allah King Wise, also known as Wise Shahid, what makes what I come with different than what other individuals are coming with when it comes to life and business? So for one thing, everybody different, just in life anyway. Each individual has their own distinctive uniqueness. So when you tap into your own distinct uniqueness, you're gonna bring to any situation, any equation of like relationship, any business partnership, you're gonna bring your own self-style wisdom. Now the thing about that is, what's the value of what you bring? What's the quality of what you bring? How impactful is it? What's the usefulness of it? Can people use what you're saying to make their life better? So that's what it comes down to. How much value do you bring? How much is it useful to people who listen to what you're saying? And so that right there is a matter of the people making that judgment. So I see a lot of people. I hear a lot of people. They be like frustrated when it comes to business. They're like, oh, people not supporting my business. People not buying from me, or y'all don't want to spend the money for this. And so what I do is I analyze things from a different perspective. That's what I do. My outlook is like different than the average individual's outlook on subjects. And so when I look at the fact that some people may be frustrated because people are not buying from them or not using their services, what I look at is on a bigger scale. You have different businesses that exist that provide similar services. So therefore, if these other businesses who have similar products or similar services that you have, and they are making money within that market, within that space, then you have to study what they are doing because it's evidence there that shows that whatever they are doing, if people are buying their products and or services, that means they're doing something that get the people to want to buy their products and services. And on the other side of that equation is you yourself who have similar products or similar services, and nobody is buying from you, then why is that? And it's multiple reasons that that could take place. Yet this is how you have to frame like your analysis, like the way you have to examine these things from that perspective, because we're dealing with reality, meaning that we're talking about behavior of people where human behavior is within a framework. And what I mean by human behavior is within a framework, meaning that if you look at my body and you look at the next person's body, even though we could be different size, like this person could weigh more than me or less than me, this person could be taller than me or shorter than me. However, our anatomy carry the same basic structure: arm, leg, arm, head. That's the basic structure of a human anatomy, right? And in some cases, an animal have that too, though. You know, you got an arm, leg, arm, head on a dog, but the dog got a tail, though. So they add something else there. So what the point that distinguishes us as humans from everything else is we have the intellect, we have the intelligence outside of just the basic instincts of animal instincts, so to speak. But not to get too deep on that, and I want want to bring it back. Let me bring it back to making my point. You got products, you got services, and you're frustrated that no one is buying your products, coming to you to pay you for your services. And you're frustrated, you're mad. You're like, man, I got this, I got that. And see, and you believe in what you got. Like you really looking at your products and services like people need this. People should want this because you putting your time, you putting your money, you putting your energy, you pouring resources into your product, your services. Yet people not spending money with you. And you're frustrated. So what I'd say is if you can look at other people that have similar products and services and people are buying from them, you have to study what is it that they are doing. They got people buying their product, utilizing their services, and paying a fee to utilize their services. What are they doing? And I say it's universal. So, and what I mean by that is that it's certain things that when we start talking about business, that's universal. It's certain things that come with a business, the same way as certain things that come with human behavior. It's certain things that come with just the human anatomy. Everybody that's a human being that is healthy and considered to be normal has an arm, leg, arm, and a head. So that using that analogy, because keep in mind, this is life and business. It's life is infrastructure. This is what I provide for people. I'm giving you another outlook on how you could analyze life and business that will give you the ability to benefit, get some benefit from your life and your business, meaning that you can get to enjoy love, peace, and happiness, get to enjoy profit from your business, get to enjoy the ability to make a living off of something that you love to do, right? So if you take a look at the similar qualities that all successful businesses have, any business that is making a profit, they have this quality or these qualities or features rather. They are communicating to the people very well on what their product or service is. I'm gonna go back to that part again. They are communicating very well. That's one of the features of a successful, profitable business. It does a good job at communicating to the people. The messaging is on point. Think about that. Any business that you know of, any product or any service that you know of, how did you know about it? How did you come to know about it? See, when you want to study life and business, right, and you studying people and you looking at people in general, and you trying to analyze people in general, and the question that you ask is why people do this, why people doing that, why people buy this, why people buy that, why people don't buy this, why people don't buy that. All you have to do is base these things on your own self. And see, this is something that I learned this from just from having knowledge of self. I didn't learn this from, like reading a book about life and business. I learned this right here just from just studying the knowledge of self. Like my foundation of life and business is the knowledge of self. And that's my school of thought. My school of thought is the 5% nation, right? The 5% nation of gods and earths. The 5% is that some people call it. And that's just the basis of where I make my decisions from, to be able to analyze life, to be able to navigate and travel through everyday life and embrace the challenges, the obstacles, and the opposition of just daily living. All these things are just a part of life. The challenges, the obstacles that we face here on the planet Earth are just the basic fundamental things that you encounter as someone that is living on the planet Earth. There's nothing overwhelming about it, for real. We make it overwhelming. We make it be more than what it is because our foundation could be flawed, meaning that what we stand on, what we stand for, our outlook on life, the basis that we make our decisions from, those things could be flawed. And how you can verify that it's flawed is the results that you get, the outcome, the experience. And let's take it back. The mental health or mental sickness. So people got, you got mental illness, you got mental illnesses. So this is the mental wealth podcast. This is me talking about mental wealth. And as I talk about mental wealth, is coming from being powered by life-based infrastructure. Wizetics OS life-based infrastructure. That's what powers this entire broadcast that you are listening to or watching. So when you think about the state of your mind, the state of your mental, do you have a peace of mind, or are you frustrated in your mind? Are you dealing with what is called anxiety? Are you depressed? Are you overly stressed? And if you are having those experiences, then you have to take a look at the state of your mind. What are the thoughts that occupy the space of your mind the most? This is how you analyze the state of your mind. This is how you are able to examine what is the quality, or what is the value, or what is the, like, basically what I'm saying is, whatever you say you stand for, whatever you call your foundation of life, that you live your life by, that your standards derive from, right? If the results that you are getting in your life don't bring you love, peace, and happiness, you have to go reevaluate what you say you stand for. You have to go reevaluate what you call your foundation of life, because whatever you are calling your standards, whatever you are saying, what you say, I stand for this. This is my knowledge base. This is what I live by. And as you live your life, and as you go through experiencing um whatever you experience as we live, and you are dealing with what they call an anxiety, depression, you overly stressed, you constantly frustrated, that's a clear sign, that's clear evidence that whatever it is that you say you stand for, whatever it is that you hold dear to your heart as being your basis of living, there's a flaw there somewhere. That's just the way that is all coming about. Like 1 + 1 = 2. It just that's how simple it is. So that's what you get when I'm bringing whatever I bring. I simplify the most complex things, things that appear to be complex, things that people are spending their money to go speak with a mental health person, a psychologist, psychiatrist, going through all these different things to get evaluated, or they got a life coach, they got a business coach, they're hiring a consultant. Some people looking for through the clergy, they're faith-based, they're going to their preacher, they're going to a minister. They're looking for direction. They're looking for some way to satisfy the dissatisfaction that's taking place within their mind, which ultimately results in dissatisfaction in the way they live in, which ultimately results in the reinforcement of anxiety, depression, and being overly stressed and frustrated. So that's what you get out of mental wealth. What I'm kicking. This is what you get from life-based infrastructure. This is what you get. You get another perspective of life, and another perspective of business. And you get clarity, which I call understanding. Understanding is to see things clearly for what they are and not for what they appear to be. That's understanding. Understanding is to see things clearly for what they are and not for what they appear to be. And when you have the highest form of understanding, that's what you call love. When you got the highest elevation of understanding, when you can like clearly see something on the highest level, or clearly see a person on the highest level, this is what I call love. And it is the foundation where it sets in motion peace and happiness. Love, peace, happiness. That's how it goes. And the ultimate goal that causes people to move is to move towards happiness. Your nature is to pursue happiness. Yet, if you don't have the right knowledge and the right wisdom, you will pursue happiness as a savage, because a savage is a person who has lost the knowledge of themselves and living a beast, what? Way of life. So this is what I'm bringing to the people, of course, we're talking about life and business. So it's like, how do we provide value to exchange for value? How do we trade value? That's what business is about. That's what life is about. You exchanging value. Like even in a conversation, you're not going to have a conversation with someone that you don't see any value in for yourself. Whatever you hold dear as a value, whatever you value, you're not going to hold a conversation with someone that you don't see as being valuable to you. Whatever you value though, because different people value different things. So some people value sports. They can have a conversation with sports for hours. Some people value entertainment. They can talk about entertainment for hours. Some people value business. They can talk about business for hours. Go on and talk about these things. That's what they see valuable to them. And it might not be the same value to others. But however, there are markets of value, meaning that you got groups of people that they love to talk about sports. You got groups of people that love to talk about entertainment. You got groups of people that love to talk about whatever. They connect together. That's how life and business go. So in the business world, they call that's the market. So what market do your business fit into? The products and services that you provide, what market does it fit into? And then is it enough value in that market from that aspect of is there enough money? How much money is in this market? How many other businesses are in this market? And where do you see yourself being able to fit into this market and get a piece of what you say, like a piece of the pie? And is it enough there for you to be able to get to sustain your own existence, your life and your business? That's basically what that is right there from that standpoint. And so that's why I bring up this Wizetics. This is a snapshot. I put all of it in a snapshot in this book. This is a snapshot, right? So I'm gonna read something out of here before I go. And you can get this on all platforms that sell books, basically Amazon, Barnes and Noble, Wizetics. So let me go into something like mindset mapping. If the mind ain't mapped, the mission won't move. That's something that I'm saying right there. So I'm talking about emotional intelligence, vision scripting, make it plain. This is what I'm talking about right here, right here, right. So it says, where the mind goes, energy flows. This is on page 13. Where the mind goes, energy flows. Energy can be guided through visualizations with the proper alignment of the will. Repetition is a vital component to the process of creative visualization techniques. The subconscious is the vehicle through which energy is shaped, molded, and directed towards a said goal or vision. The subconscious does not distinguish between things vision and a state of deep trance and those that are physically experienced. So that's coming out of Wizetics. And so these are things that like I've experienced in my life and I experienced in business. So I just put it all together in my system. So I created the system is Wizetics OS Life Based Infrastructure. We got to have systems. And it's based off 7 pillars. a 7-pillar system. And that 7-pillar system is associated with what I call 7 planes of energy as well, too, the 7 planes of energy. So with that, that's mental wealth for today. Catch you on the next go round. You know, like I said, we're still framing, still structuring this out right here. See how it's going to go. Rolling out, see the feedback that we get, put it in the feedback loop, see what we get from the people. Do the people want more of this? The people don't want more of this. The people, the power is in the people. Because it's like I said, yo, if you got a product or service and people not buying your product or using your service, it's either something that's not up to par, meaning that the people don't want your product or service, or they don't know about your product or service, or you didn't position it in the right way to be seen and heard by people, or you're not doing it long enough. So it's variables to that. It's different things that could come into play with that. But you got to examine it. You got to study it, and you got to be real about it. You got to separate your emotions from it and look at it for what it really is and not what it appear to be, which I say that's understanding. Peace.